On this episode of the Aquila 32 Sport Owner's Experience Series, we're going to cover the purchase and installation of EVA flooring. There are a few choices out there, but the two largest out there are SeaDek and Marine Mat. This video will be unique because I've chosen a method in installation that's different than what you'll see on other EVA flooring videos. If you're not going to be doing this yourself, this video is probably not for you. First, the why. We're a little anal when it comes to keeping the boat clean before taking off on a trip, and the floor of the Aquila is really nice, but it tends to show every little speck of debris. Installing EVA flooring doesn't mean that you won't have the same debris, but it won't be as visible between cleanings. It also is less slippery, feels nice on your feet, and if you have a dog, they won't slip either. EVA flooring is expensive, so before making the investment, it's a good idea to know as much as you can before you buy it. First, EVA flooring typically has a lifespan advertised between 7 and 10 years, mostly because of UV exposure. It's also not indestructible. Another choice would be marine carpeting, which is a lot less expensive and is typically a snap-in product. I was hesitant because of the number of snap locations potentially needed with carpet. During my research, I came up on a boating site called The Whole Truth, which is an excellent resource to get the skinny about any boating subject you can think of. When researching carpet in the boat, there were several warnings about drilling into fiberglass floors to install the snaps, delamination, water penetration issues, etc., and really expensive repair bills. They also mentioned a product from 3M called Dura Lock. BMW uses it to keep their carpeting in place. It's a little like Velcro, but uses plastic panhead type connectors to adhere to itself and comes in rolls. We like the idea of EVA products, so I wondered if I could devise a way to use the 3M product to attach the flooring panels, but neither of them offered their stick-on product without the sticky back. Marine Mat, however, had a snap-in product that they devised. They offered two backings, dimpled and smooth, and they were quick to offer samples that we could check out. We also were sent samples of the 3M product from Fascination, another good website. We ended up with the 1-inch clear, low-profile product. After some research, Marine Mat was our choice because of their snap-in technology and backing choices. They also were less expensive than SeaDek. Both products offered the stick-on options, but if you've watched any videos of people replacing the stick-on product, it's not easy and it's super time-consuming. That led us to look at Marine Mat's snap-in product, which is about 50% more expensive than the stick-on product. An even bigger factor in the decision-making was that Marine Mat already has a template for the Aquila 32. Everyone offering EVA flooring has a template material that you can buy, but you have to pay for it, and it's a pretty big process to complete accurately, and then you have to get it back to them, get the approval process, etc., etc. Marine Mat eliminated all of this for us. Marine Mat offered to send samples for review and testing. We have a German Shepherd weighing over 90 pounds. And the online research wasn't definitive as to whether she would damage it just by simply walking around. So we wanted to simulate normal dragging and poking of claws in the product, etc. My wife and I poked our nails in, and I dragged a screwdriver over the product and poked it several times and let the product sit overnight. We found that those marks will probably remain afterwards. We also found that EVA flooring can get super hot in the sun, so the lighter the color, the better it is. Our choice ended up being a champagne on top of marina blue in a teak wood layout. The champagne was a nice contrast to the seats, and it was light enough to reflect some of the heat. And we both liked the color pop of the blue. We just got our delivery from Marine Mat, and we're going to change what our flooring looks like. And Marine Mat has been kind enough, actually, they were the only company I could find that actually had a layout of the boat, so you didn't have to do your own layout. So the first thing we got to do is, we don't have to clean all the floor. That's another good thing about the way we're going to do this. We only have to do where the pieces of Velcro are going to be stuck down. And they had used it for carpet installation on their boats. So I figure if it's good enough for carpet, it should be easily good enough for this. This is a snap-in product, but I asked them to leave the snaps out because I'm not going to use snaps. I asked them to send me a flat piece, and you can see that there's no dimples or anything on this. It's just a flat piece. But the bad part is that
there is nothing. It just says Marine Mat on it, but it doesn't tell you which piece this is. And there's, I don't know, 20 some odd pieces maybe that's going to go in. Because there's a possibility of some fading anytime you get product that's directly exposed to the sun. And this boat remains covered almost all the time. In fact, all the time. It's covered all the time. So any flooring that we have in here is going to maintain its color. It should stay fairly new. The only part that I did was I asked them to stop the Marine Mat right in here so that the cover covers up that and leave this all white and all of these pieces out here, because actually Marine Mat has this as separate pieces. So this piece out here that's going to be exposed, all of this, and the identical portion on this side here, all of this is going to remain exposed to the sun. This product, I mean, this fiberglass was meant for sun exposure, but this might fade over time and you don't want to replace it. And they're saying that this stuff only lasts about 7 years or so. I think it's going to last a lot longer because this is not going to be exposed to the sun. What we're going to do, we're going to take a piece like this and we're going to take that Velcro product, and again, I'm going to show it to you in a second. We're going to put a piece here, 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 and here. And I might subsequently put something in the middle here and here. But that's all you're going to need. And this Velcro stuff I've got is super thin, but it's got major grip. So as we do this, we can actually put it on, just stamp it down to the floor, and it won't move. It'll be fixed in place. If we ever want to come back later because we had, I don't know, garbage, whatever, and we think it might have gotten underneath the mat, this is simply going to pull up, and we can clean the floor and make it brand new, and then we can put this back down and stamp it where we want it. So this should be a temporary fix here. Also, if you chose to take your boat out after you've Velcroed this down to the floor, you pull it up, and this stuff I've got is so thin that you can step on it and barely even feel it. So it's actually just fine, and I don't think you're going to hurt it. But the 3M product that we got is right here. It comes on this giant roll. And let me see if I can find the beginning of it. So it's right here. Let me go ahead and open this up. Okay, so this product is called 3M Dura Lock. This is a small piece that I've taken off, and you can see tiny, tiny little beads. And here's the other side of it. It's basically on the same roll. You just cut it right off. More tiny, tiny little beads, but these beads adhere to each other. You see they just kind of slide over top of each other. But once you push them down here, they lock. You can see it locking here. There. Makes a super thin layer. And this is, I mean, this is together. You can still, what's great is it's temporary, so you can pull it apart. It takes a little bit to pull it apart. You can hear it. There it is. It comes right apart. And I've already tested this glue here on the back. I've tested this on the boat. Just take a little bit of this acetone and you put it, you wipe the spot where this is going to go. And this sticks, I mean, it's on there. It's really on there. So this floor is pretty clean right now, but I'm still going to go ahead and take a broom and just broom this down, get everything kind of fairly clean so that this stuff sits on a clean floor. Got some bugs and things that sometimes get behind that cover. But we're going to go ahead and sweep this out, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we've laid the mat in place. Ready to go ahead and adhere, but needed to undo this puzzle first. And it looks nice. Everything fits pretty good, except for a couple pieces. You got this one right here is a little bit long. It's not going to fit in there quite. It's about maybe 2 inches too long. But they even had a little piece of flooring for this middle piece here. And these are all just, again, laying in here. They have not been fastened in permanently. The only piece that's not fitting good is this one right here, this big one. And it's got to, it wasn't cut to allow for these 2 legs on the helm seat. So we'll check with them and find out what we got. So I found that the easiest way to do this is to find the spots that you need to secure on the mat itself that you're about to place down. And this is probably the most. In fact, I'll say that these 2 pieces that are right here on this edge, they're going to carry the most because they have the most pressure points. So put them on, then take these backings, peel these off. But before you do that, go ahead and take your acetone, and I've just got a big thing of acetone here, and I'll go ahead and wipe down the sections where that tape is going to be along this section here, and then just place the thing where you want it. Just make sure it's right the first time. But once you got it down, you should be good to go. So that said, for example, this piece is going to have 4, 2 in each corner. This piece here will probably have 4, 2 in each corner. 4 here, 5 probably, because you got that little piece that goes over on the edge. 4 there. This large one, I will probably put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I may have 8 on here. But the ones like even this one up here in this corner, you're going to have, 4 is probably enough to hold that in place. Again, 4, maybe 6 is enough to have that one in place. I've taken this in here, and because it is underneath the helm seat and your feet are going to be up here and that thing's got more of a chance to move around, I went ahead and put 2 big strips here, one here, and one here. And then I put the smaller ones, boom, boom, and boom, right underneath to make sure that this is not going to claw down if somebody tries to put pressure on it. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting off a small piece, however long you think is going to be enough to hold it. Taking that and I'm attaching it back into this, locking it in place, and cutting this off. Peel off this back. This is actually the hardest part, is getting the stinking back off of this. This is going to kick my butt. Like I said, this is the longest part. There we go. Once we've got that off there and exposed, then you can take it and put it where you want to on your piece. So. There you go. Then when we're ready to go ahead and place this down, all I have to do is just come back again, the longest part, take all these backs off. It's already clean, and then lay it in place. Well, here's a problem I did not anticipate with this. Got this piece in here. It gets stuck. This is too tall for this door to open up. Figure this out. This one slides to the side, so we're in good shape there. Well, we finished up. And you need to know that you're going to have a lot of tape left over on this giant roll. I mean, you can see how big this thing is. Huge roll. So if for some reason this is what we got, this final product. Just out to there. And you'll see when I get that cover on, that won't be exposed. These can be taken in. Because the cover won't cover these here. So now with the Velcro, you just pull it right on up and you can put it inside the boat and keep it looking like new. Champagne with merino blue. All the way up. Including this little area here, which is really nice. Nice to have that here. And by the way, I was able to get this door open, but I had to lift up pretty hard on this thing just to bring it up. Once it was up, the rest of this cleared and opened up just fine. And you can see that it's kind of bound right here, but that said, it's locked. It's locked through here, so this ought to be fine. Actually, this might act as some additional suspension for the door. Marine mat. Sure don't go off the back of this swim platform. So this is why I like the Velcro idea. Because here, you've got this sticking out, and this will come right out, go back into the boat. And back over here, you can see that I didn't order the marine mat to go over this part here.
The install only took a couple of hours, and I attribute most of it to figuring out how to get the backing off the tape. After stepping hard on the flooring where the tape is attached, the tape needs a little while to cure before it will stick good to the floor, so don't test the veracity right away. As you saw, the template wasn't perfect, but it was good enough for what we wanted. We really like the way the boat looks and feels after the new flooring. Well, that's all for this episode. I hope it's been helpful. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see you!